Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game.
Report: Warriors rule out Steph Curry for Game 2 versus Timberwolves with Grade 1 groin strain. The Golden State Warriors may have dodged a major bullet, but they're still facing a tough stretch without their leader. As reported by Shams Charania, ESPN, and Anthony Slater, The Athletic, Steph Curry has been diagnosed with a Grade 1 strain in his left groin and has officially been ruled out for Game 2 of the Western Conference Series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. According to Slater, the team expects Curry to miss multiple games, and while there's no set timeline for his return, there's optimism that he could still make it back before the series ends. The good news? It's only a Grade 1 strain. Had it been a Grade 2 or 3, Curry would likely be done for the playoffs entirely. Athletes have bounced back from similar injuries in under a week. The bad news? Groin strains, especially in players over 35, are notoriously tricky, with a high risk of re-aggravation if the return is rushed. Given that Curry is now 37 and still the heart of the franchise, the Warriors' medical team is expected to be extra cautious before clearing him. Curry's absence was deeply felt in Game 1, yet somehow, the Warriors found a way. Grinding out a 99-88 win without their star point guard gave them a much-needed lifeline. Had they lost, the tone of the series could have shifted drastically. But now, with at least one win under their belt, Golden State buys itself time. Curry may need to get healthy enough to return. Game 6, which is set to be played 11 days after the injury, could be a realistic target for Curry's return. For that to happen, the team will need to dig deep and likely steal at least one more win without him. It won't be easy. Minnesota's defense has been stifling, and the Wolves know this is their moment to strike. But the Warriors have been here before. Veterans like Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, who's taken on more offensive responsibility in Curry's absence, are being looked to as emotional and tactical leaders in the meantime. If they can rally the squad and stay afloat long enough to get their MVP back, the Warriors still have a fighting chance in this series. In the playoffs, every game is a battle. But if there's one thing the league has learned over the years, it's this: never count out Steph Curry, especially when the stakes are highest. The absence of Steph Curry doesn't just impact the Warriors' game plan, it shifts the entire energy of the series. For a team built around his gravity on offense and leadership in crunch time, every possession feels heavier without him on the floor. And while Golden State pulled out a gritty Game 1 win, doing it again, especially against a hungry and physical Timberwolves squad, is an uphill climb. Head coach Steve Kerr acknowledged the challenge after Game 1. "Obviously, we're a different team without Steph," he said. "But that win showed the character of our group. Everyone stepped up. Now we just have to keep finding ways to stay alive until we can get him back." The locker room remains hopeful. Draymond Green, known for wearing his emotions on his sleeve, spoke candidly about what Curry means to the team, and how his absence fuels their fire. "We're not gonna feel sorry for ourselves," Green said. "We know what Steph gives us, but this isn't the first time we've had to fight without him. We're built for adversity." Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler, who joined Golden State this season in search of his first championship, has taken on a bigger offensive role in Curry's absence. His 28-point performance in Game 1 was a reminder that the Warriors still have veteran firepower, and plenty of fight. The ripple effects of Curry's injury are being felt far beyond the Bay Area. TV networks, advertisers, and league officials are monitoring the situation closely. Curry remains one of the NBA's biggest draws, and a prolonged absence would significantly impact national viewership and fan engagement. His potential return date is already one of the most speculated topics across sports talk shows and online platforms. NBA insiders have suggested that Game 5 could be a possible target if Curry's recovery progresses without setbacks. That would give him 7 days of rest and treatment, just within the window that some players have needed to return from a Grade 1 strain. However, sources close to the team emphasize that the Warriors are prioritizing long-term health over short-term gain, especially considering Curry's age and injury history. In the meantime, Kerr and his staff are expected to lean more heavily on their younger rotation players, like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski, to fill the offensive gaps. The coaching staff is also retooling the offense to feature more post touches and half-court sets, minimizing the need for high-speed pace that normally revolves around Curry's movement and shooting. Still, even as fans wait anxiously for updates, there's a quiet confidence around the organization. This is a team with championship DNA, and more than a few scars from tough playoff runs. They've been here before. They know the script. Survive now, and the superstar might return in time to flip the series. And when Steph Curry steps back onto the court, whenever that may be, you can be sure it'll be must-watch basketball. Steph Curry listed as day-to-day with groin strain as Warriors brace for Game 2 without him. The Golden State Warriors may have started their Western Conference semifinals on the right foot with a gritty 99-88 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, but the celebration was short-lived. Their emotional Game 1 victory came at a steep cost. Stephen Curry left the game in the second quarter with what has now been diagnosed as a left groin strain, and his status moving forward is anything but certain. Curry is set to undergo an MRI on Wednesday to determine the severity of the injury, and for now, he's officially listed as day-to-day. After the game, head coach Steve Kerr didn't sugarcoat the situation. While they're hoping for the best, the team is already preparing as if Curry won't be available for Game 2. "It's just part of the journey," Kerr said. "Obviously, we're hoping it's not serious, but we have to be ready to adjust." Curry had played just 13 minutes before exiting, but in that short stretch, he made a clear impact, dropping 13 points and helping Golden State establish a 13-point halftime lead. His signature tempo and command of the offense were in full effect early, setting the tone and giving the Warriors early control of the game. But his absence was felt immediately in the second half. The offense slowed, spacing tightened, and the Warriors had to lean heavily on Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield to carry them down the stretch. It worked this time, but repeating that formula without their superstar will be a daunting task, especially with Game 2 just around the corner on Thursday night in Minneapolis. Curry's injury comes at a particularly tough moment. Golden State had just finished a taxing 7-game series against the Houston Rockets on Sunday, and came into this series with minimal rest. That short turnaround, coupled with Curry's injury, has placed even greater pressure on the Warriors' depth and resilience. Internally, the team is expected to take a cautious approach regardless of what the MRI reveals. At 37, Curry is still playing at an elite level, but groin injuries, even minor ones, can linger if rushed. Given how much is still at stake in this postseason run, the Warriors know that preserving his long-term health may mean sacrificing in the short term. The pressure now shifts to the rest of the roster. Can the Warriors weather the storm without their heartbeat? Can they steal another game on the road while their leader heals? One thing is certain, all eyes are on Steph Curry's MRI, and the Warriors' next move may very well shape the outcome of their postseason dreams. For now, the Warriors are focused on two parallel paths, doing everything possible to keep the series competitive without Curry, and closely monitoring his recovery timeline. Internally, there's hope that the MRI will confirm the injury is minor, potentially allowing Curry to return by Game 4 or 5, depending on how his body responds to treatment. But even a short-term absence has huge implications. Steph is not just the team's top scorer, he's the system. His ability to create offense out of nothing, to collapse defenses, and to stretch the floor from 30 feet changes everything about how opponents guard Golden State. Without him, defenses can load up on Butler, sag off shooters, and force the Warriors into a more static half-court style they're not built to play. Klay Thompson, who has had an up-and-down postseason, will now face greater pressure to step up as a primary scoring threat. Likewise, Draymond Green may be called upon to initiate more offense while anchoring the defense. But perhaps the biggest opportunity lies with the younger core, players like Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and Jonathan Kuminga, who now have a chance to show they can deliver under playoff lights. Off the court, the news of Curry's injury quickly became the headline across NBA media and social platforms. Fans and analysts alike expressed concern over the star's health, while some began to question whether the physical toll of carrying the team for over a decade is beginning to catch up to the two-time MVP. "He's done everything for this franchise," said former Warrior Andre Iguodala on a post-game panel. "If anyone deserves a little grace and patience in recovery, it's Steph. But I'll tell you this, if he's got a chance to get back on the floor, he'll do everything in his power to make it happen." The league, too, is watching closely. With viewership peaking during the playoffs, the absence of one of the NBA's most electrifying players could impact ratings and advertising traction, especially if the series loses its competitive edge. Game 2 now looms large. If the Warriors can pull off another win in hostile territory without Curry, the calculus of the series changes entirely. It would not only buy time for their superstar to return but also send a message that this team, championship-tested and deeply bonded, can still find ways to win without their North Star. Still, the road ahead is steep. And every hour leading up to that MRI result will feel like a slow countdown, for the team, for the fans, and for the league. Because when Steph Curry is on the court, anything feels possible. And when he's not, the whole landscape changes. Warriors' relentless defense secures Game 1 victory, but can it hold without Steph Curry? What should have been a statement win for Golden State turned into a night of uncertainty. The Warriors opened their Western Conference semifinal series with a hard-fought 99-88 win over the Timberwolves, but lost their heartbeat in the process. Steph Curry exited in the second quarter with what was later diagnosed as a left groin strain. He didn't return, and now the question looms: can the Warriors keep this going without him? Game 1 was a showcase of grit and defensive identity, two things that have become the hallmark of this Golden State team, especially since the arrival of Jimmy Butler. Even without Curry orchestrating the offense, the Warriors managed to suffocate Minnesota's attack, relying on a game plan anchored in discipline, rotations, and a little help from the basketball gods as the Timberwolves missed several open looks. It's no fluke, this defense has been elite. Since Butler's arrival, the Warriors posted the best defensive rating in the league during his 31 regular season appearances, allowing just 109.9 points per 100 possessions, according to Cleaning the Glass. Butler's defensive versatility has injected a new edge into the team's DNA. He fights through screens, disrupts passing lanes, and brings a collective toughness that's contagious. That pride in stopping teams was on full display in Game 1, even after Curry was ruled out. The Warriors held the Timberwolves to just 82.2 points per 100 half-court possessions and limited their transition chances to a mere 11.7% of possessions. Every defensive rotation had purpose, and every switch was deliberate, even if the offense, without Curry, struggled to find rhythm. Golden State's own half-court attack ranked in the 16th percentile, scoring just 83.5 points per 100 possessions, far from pretty. But it was just enough. With Butler and Buddy Hield stepping up late, and the defense holding firm, the Warriors pulled through. At the center of it all, Draymond Green, doing what he's done for a decade, anchoring a defense with unmatched IQ, instincts, and leadership. His matchup with Anthony Edwards, one of the league's most explosive young stars, will be a battle to watch all series. Early in Game 1, the Warriors focused on forcing Edwards to be a passer rather than letting him get downhill. When he did manage to attack the rim, Green was there, walling off space and altering shots. It was textbook Draymond: read, rotate, contest, recover. But how long can they sustain this? As the Timberwolves adjust, Golden State will be tested. They know the Warriors' scheme now. They've seen how Green drops back, how Butler tags rollers, how Podziemski, Kuminga, and Hield handle switches. And they'll adapt. They already started to by the end of Game 1. Jaden McDaniels began attacking closeouts, Naz Reid got clean looks from the top of the arc, and Edwards started manipulating screens to draw Green out of his comfort zone. The Timberwolves are actively working to drag Green out of his preferred help positions, involving him directly in pick-and-rolls and spacing the floor with shooters who can punish late rotations. It's a smart counter. Remove Green from the back line, and suddenly Golden State's safety net gets a little thinner. That's where coaching adjustments come in. Steve Kerr and his staff may need to get creative, toggling between drop coverage, zone, and switches, sometimes all in the same possession. It's a chess match, and every move now carries higher stakes with Curry's return timeline still uncertain. Can Golden State defend like this consistently without Steph's offensive gravity giving them room to breathe? Can Butler and Hield shoulder enough of the scoring load while young players are thrust into bigger roles? The Warriors will need everything: smart rotations, timely shooting, and maybe even a bit of luck, to survive the next few games. But if there's one thing this group has proven, it's that they believe in the fight. They've built a defensive foundation strong enough to bend without breaking. And if they can buy time, if they can hold on until Curry returns, then this series, and their championship hopes, are far from over. In a remarkable Game 1 victory, the Golden State Warriors overcame the Minnesota Timberwolves 99-88, despite losing their star player, Stephen Curry, to a left hamstring strain in the second quarter. Curry had contributed 13 points in just 13 minutes before exiting the game. His absence raised concerns, but the team rallied together, showcasing a collective effort that extended their playoff road success to 23 Game 1 victories since 2015. Buddy Hield stepped up significantly, leading the team with 24 points, including 5 three-pointers. Jimmy Butler nearly achieved a triple-double, recording 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Draymond Green added 18 points and marked his 1,000th career playoff assist. The Warriors' defense was particularly impressive, holding the Timberwolves to 39.5% shooting and just 5 for 29 from beyond the arc. Despite the victory, the team faces uncertainty regarding Curry's availability for the upcoming games. Head coach Steve Kerr stated that Curry would be considered day-to-day and would undergo an MRI to determine the extent of the injury. The Warriors are preparing as if Curry will not be available for Game 2, scheduled for Thursday in Minneapolis. The Warriors' ability to secure a win without Curry highlights their depth and resilience. However, sustaining this level of performance without their star player will be challenging. The team will need continued strong contributions from Hield, Butler, Green, and others to maintain their competitive edge in the series. As the series progresses, all eyes will be on Curry's recovery and the Warriors' ability to adapt to his potential absence. The outcome of Game 2 could be pivotal in determining the trajectory of the series.